Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next session of our virtual college visits. Today, we have Mr. Reilly from Elon University, and he's going to tell us all about the wonderful opportunities at his school because he went there himself as a student. So take it away.
Thanks so much for the time. Good to be here, and thanks for tuning in. Really good to meet you. Hi, Rachel, here with us live. My name is Quinn, Assistant Director of Admissions here at Elon University and an alum myself, as mentioned. I'm so happy to share information about the university today and answer any questions we've got here as well. I'm happy to speak kind of more broadly about the admissions process as well. Before we dive into the information, there's a QR code. If you wouldn't mind scanning this with your phone, or I'm also going to put a link in the chat, whichever is easier for you. This will take you to a short card for us, information card to fill out, just to learn a little bit about you, but also get you credit for being here this morning or for viewing later. One really big piece of Elon's application review process is called demonstrated interest, maybe a term that you've heard before, but basically any engagement we've had with students, whether that's tuning into a session like this one, making it down to campus for a tour, any email interaction, all of that is tracked as demonstrated interest. And as I mentioned, a really big piece of our review process. I'll kind of speak broadly about who we are as an institution. Elon is a mid-sized private liberal arts university in the state of North Carolina, not too far from you all, about 2.5 hours, give or take, depending on where you are in the area. But we're located down here right between Raleigh and Greensboro, North Carolina, about half an hour to the east of Greensboro, 45 minutes west of Raleigh-Durham, and an hour and a half outside of Charlotte as well. So really great opportunities to take advantage of that. Those major metropolitan areas, certainly. We are mid-sized, as I mentioned, about 6,300 undergraduate students, in addition to our 800 graduate students. And the majority are like you all. They come from out of state. So we only see about 24% of our students as North Carolina residents. The other 76% come from elsewhere in the nation or from elsewhere in the world. Typically about 7% of our student body are international students. Of course, that's speaking to geographic diversity, also recognizing that about 18% of our student body self-identify as students of color. And we also have over 40 different religions represented across campus. Speaking about the academics, we have 5 different undergraduate schools at Elon: College of Arts and Sciences, School of Business, Communication, Education, and Health Sciences. And these are open enrollment programs. So what that means is that you don't have to apply separately to the undergraduate school in which you want to study. You would just apply to the university more broadly and be able to take advantage of any of our 70 different majors and over 75 different minors without that secondary application process. This allows students who kind of know what they want to do right away to begin those classes, those major courses, in their very first semester. You don't have to wait. But if you want to do some more of that exploring, maybe you're unsure of what you want to do right now, you've got plenty of time to do that even once you've begun college. At Elon, we don't have the requirement that students declare a major until the midpoint of their sophomore year. So lots of time to explore those different areas of academic interest. Being a liberal arts university, you're taking electives outside of your major anyway, which really does provide students the flexibility to be able to explore different academic areas, but still be earning credits towards graduation. Kind of zooming in on the classroom itself, inside the classroom, the emphasis is really on small class size. So typically about 21 students in a given classroom, but never more than 33. So we cap all of our courses at 33 students. So even if you're in a first year course, a introductory course, you're not going to be in that space with more than 32 students and yourself. Really gives you the ability to better know your peers as well as your professors. 100% of our professors are full-time faculty, which means that we don't have graduate students or TAs teaching our undergraduate courses. They're all taught by full-time faculty members. That's something I really appreciated when I was a student, kind of getting that more individualized learning directly from faculty members and getting the opportunity to better know my peers as well. What sets Elon apart as far as our academic calendar goes is that we have a typical fall and spring, just like many other institutions, where students will typically take 4 classes in each one of those semesters. But what's a little bit unique about Elon is that we have something called winter term. So that's a 3-week period in the month of January, where students on campus can take 1 course as an intensive. So you take that 1 course 5 days a week, 3 hours a day to fit that entire course, semester-long course into that 3-week period. Gives you some flexibility to do things like pick up a minor, do a double major, spend a full semester abroad, some different academic flexibility in those capacities. You can also use this time to do study abroad, to do internship, research. You can stay home if you want to. It's really meant to be flexible based off of your professional and academic interests. Personally, I took a course each year during January term. I took a psychology course during those times, and it added up to be a minor. So it's a lot of different flexibility depending on what you want to use with winter term. Kind of speaking about those different experiences to bring learning outside the classroom, we have 5 different Elon experiences so that students can bring that learning outside and apply it to the real world as an undergraduate. About 80% of our students will conduct study abroad before graduating. Rachel, any interest in study abroad? Yes? Oh, exciting. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be? Maybe
Okay,
I'm sure a winter term that I was at Elon. We went to Paris as well. Fantastic. Lots of opportunity to go back to France or elsewhere in the world. We actually do have the #1 ranked study abroad program, 2 years running now, over 100 locations where you can travel abroad, including 5 right here in the United States as well through Study USA programming. That's typically semester-long programming, but we also have shorter terms. I mentioned January term, but also during the summer where students are able to go abroad or do Study USA in that capacity as well during shorter periods of time. Most typically, when you go abroad, it's with an affiliate institution. So you can use our department, the Global Education Center, to identify different relationships with other universities and institutions that Elon has that rapport with, to be able to take their courses abroad and bring those credits back to Elon. If you're interested in going to London, Shanghai, New Zealand, or Florence, Italy, we actually have Elon programs in those 4 locations. So what that means is that we have full-time faculty on location teaching Elon courses with Elon students in those different locations. So you can absolutely pursue an Elon education abroad as well and bring those courses back to Elon too. For that reason, those are typically our strongest programs in terms of attendance, but we also see a lot of students gravitate towards Copenhagen, certainly Singapore, Barcelona, Sunshine Coast, Australia, Paris, definitely lots of different options in there. Internship is popular as well. Within London, New York, and LA, you can actually pair an internship on location with the semester away. We see across campus, 87% of our students conduct research before graduating, really setting them up well for postgraduate employment opportunities. If you're thinking about a major within the School of Communications or the School of Business, it's one of the requirements that those programs have to complete an internship before graduating. Research, service learning, leadership, these are other ways to bring that learning outside the classroom as well and apply what you're doing in the course to the real world. Touching on social life as well, college is a place to grow socially and have fun. Currently 284 student organizations on campus, really running the spectrum from things that are more academic and professional in nature to things that are really more social, things that students will do for fun. We also have sports, very popular athletic involvement on campus, athletes, play any sports? Or no? It's fine either way. We do have a Division I program, so 17 Division I teams on campus. All those games are free to go to for our students, a lot of fun to attend as well. And we also see club and intramural opportunities too. About 30% of our students compete in either a club or an intramural sport, which provides a lot of flexibility to play at different levels, depending on what your interest might be. Speaking about postgraduate success, we do see 90% of our graduates either employed or going to graduate school or completing another professional opportunity within 9 months, which is really strong. And that statistic comes from the class of 2020, who had an especially tough time going out into the postgraduate world with everything going on, but they still did tremendously well. A large part of that is due to the success that they find through internships. As an undergraduate, 62% of the internships completed by Elon students result in a job offer, which is really outstanding. But even if you don't conduct internship at Elon, you still have the full support of our Career Services Center, which does a lot of great work with our undergraduates and our alumni, printing business cards, working on resumes, cover letters, doing free headshot photos for your LinkedIn profiles, mock interviews, really a lot of different programming that extends, as I mentioned, after you graduate as well, in addition to running the Elon Job Network. So that's a database of jobs and internships that past students have gone through and that current alumni are posting so that students can get their foot in the door with those different opportunities. Kind of shifting now to the application itself, we hope that you all will consider applying. We do have the deadline of November 1st each year, so this will be reflected very similarly in future years as well. If any juniors are out there considering Elon, November 1st is early action, early decision. There you hear from us in December with each one of those deadlines with an admissions decision. So pretty quick turnaround there. Regular deadline is due January 10th. We see a mid-range academically of a GPA between a 3.5 and a 4.5, middle 50%. Of course, enrolling students with higher and lower GPAs as well, but just to give you context, around the middle 50%. With that as well, we are looking more holistically as well at things like community service, leadership, those extracurriculars, demonstrated interest, which I mentioned earlier is a really key piece for Elon. Any engagement we've had with you all is really important. So keep those dates in mind going forward. There are some special programs which you are able to apply separately to, listed here. These applications are due January 17th if you have the interest. So fellows programs, we have 6 different groups of fellows, one for each one of our 4 undergraduate schools, and then 2 multidiscipline programs in honors and leadership. So these are 4-year cohorted experiences where you're able to earn that annual scholarship money, but also take a deeper dive into that particular area of interest, oftentimes doing study abroad with your group or research. As well, we do have scholars programs offered, which are similar to fellows programs, except they're often 2 years in nature as opposed to 4 years, and they're more pre-professionally focused. Things like health professions, law professions, music, sports broadcasting, innovation. Those are different areas that we have scholars programs in, again, to get some of that scholarship money each year, but also have that more intentional advising and support in a pre-professional track. The accelerated pathways do exist as well in business and health professions. Within business, we have a 3+1 program for students interested in earning their master's degree, either in business analytics or accounting. They can do that within 4 years, which is really exciting for those students. We also have accelerated pathways in health sciences, a 5-year program, 3+2 in physician's assistant, and then also a 3+3 in the DPT, which is the Doctor of Physical Therapy program, to earn your doctorate degree in only 6 years. The Odyssey program also exists separately for students who are high achieving and those who are also high needs socioeconomically, largely those who are first generation as well. We are test optional this year and next year. The exception to that is if you're applying into nursing, engineering, or one of the accelerated pathways. Those programs will want to consider test scores, but by and large, everything else is test optional this year as well as next year. So currently for any juniors, that applies to you as well. With that, I know that's just so much information to absorb, but happy to answer any questions we have past today. Please, again, feel free to reach out. You've got my email address here. Happy to answer any questions that come up.
So I have a quick question. Is there like an on-campus event that is a standout at Elon University?
Sure. Probably thinking about tradition with that as well. We do have a Tuesday morning, a weekly event called College Coffee. So from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. each Tuesday morning, we actually don't offer classes during that time because the community is invited out to get some free breakfast out on our main quad. And that's really intentionally kind of built so that students can engage with faculty, with staff outside of the classroom. So you really do see your professors out there, you see staff members there, as well as students, of course, and get that intentional engagement with the kind of broader community in less of a formal environment.
I
And
really like that.
Can't
That's
go
very
wrong.
unique. Yes, very unique. Tell me about on-campus housing.
Sure. So it's only required for your first year that you live on campus. You can live off after that. The way that we do housing is by neighborhood. So we have collections of 4 to 6 residential halls or dorms grouped in neighborhoods. And we have 8 of those neighborhoods throughout campus, 5 of which first year students are able to live in, and then 3 additional that are apartment style, catering towards upperclassmen. We see about 64% of our students live on campus all 4 years. And the reason that number is so high is because we have those apartment style neighborhoods, which Elon owns on campus to allow for the upperclassmen to stay on campus. Those students who do live off campus often live close enough to walk into class. Very few of our students drive in each day.
Awesome. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I just want to thank you so much, Mr. Reilly, for giving us all this valuable information, and I'll make sure that everybody gets your contact information so they can ask individual questions as they come up. So thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.